Walking into this Salford studio, 7 politicians from 7 political parties, all running out of time to win over you and your vote. And with 11 days to go until polling day, and with no Boris Johnson or Jeremy Corbyn in attendance for the other 5 party leaders on this stage, it may be the biggest one they have left. The first question for them, unsurprisingly, was on Friday's London Bridge attack and how it could have been allowed to happen. And unsurprisingly, the Tories and Labour were quick to blame each other.
He was released due to a law that was passed in 2008 under the last Labour government, where people were released automatically halfway through their sentence. We changed that law in 2012, and if he had been sentenced under our rules, he would still be in jail today.
The reality is the Conservatives have been in power for a decade. They decided to cut the number of police by more than 20,000. We'll recruit 20,000 more police, including 2,000 more than the Conservatives on the front line. They've made a mess of probation. Most people recognise that. They've made a mess of our prison service so that people are coming out of prison more likely to commit crimes than when they went in.
I think these people, Darren, should never, ever be let out of prison unless we're absolutely convinced they do not have the jihadi virus.
But the biggest clashes of the night between all the parties came on Brexit. First, Plaid Cymru and the Lib Dems turned on Labour.
Going into this general election, where you stand, you say you'll consult your members, you're not even able to be honest with the people. Where's the leadership in that when we're crying out for it in this country?
Right. Do you think it is possible for Jeremy Corbyn to negotiate a Brexit deal that is better for our country than remaining in the European Union?
I believe that we can negotiate the best type of Brexit deal, and then the people can decide between that credible Brexit deal or remain. But what I would say, Joe, what I would say with respect is, I think that the Liberal Democrats' policy of revoke if they got into government seeks to deepen divisions. It's not very liberal, it's not very democratic.
We're standing in an election and saying what we would do if we won the election. I think that's democratic, but you haven't answered the question whether you think it is possible.
The point is, Joe, that we...
The answer is no.
The point is, Joe, that it would be for the people to decide.
And then the SNP and the Greens went for the Tories.
Can you guarantee that next year, if a trade deal hasn't been negotiated, that we won't have a no-deal Brexit? Will you take a no-deal Brexit off the table right now, yes or no?
Yeah, well, Nicola, we had this debate. We
got
a deal.
Answer it then.
No, we got a deal. You said, and I quote, you said it would be unachievable.
Nobody thinks.
You said it would be unachievable, your words, for Boris Johnson to get a new deal.
Nobody thinks a trade deal can be negotiated by the end of next year. So if you're right, fine, but if you're not right, do you
Nicola,
think a no-deal Brexit will happen, or will you rule it out right now?
We will get... we already have a deal to leave the European Union.
The Conservatives keep shouting out, let's move on, and we got a deal. And it's move on to the next cliff edge. They haven't got a deal. They've got a transition agreement. It took 7 years to negotiate a deal with Canada. These are more lies and more slogans, and people won't be fooled again.
Nigel Farage attacked pretty much all of them on Brexit, including this to the SNP.
So I thought you liked independence.
Well,
we're going to be a free nation.
If Scotland was
we can make our own laws, catch our own fish.
We wouldn't be getting dragged out of the European Union against our will.
You can't be independent and be in it.
Before outraging pretty much all of them with this defence of President Donald Trump.
We've all seen the footage of him talking and boasting about sexually assaulting women.
I have, and it was crass, and it was crude, and it was wrong, and men say dreadful things sometimes. But the point here...
It's just all right then.
No, they do. But you know
Some men in particular.
If all of us were caught out for what we did on a night out after a drink...
I'm sorry, is that what you do on a night out after a drink? Is that what you do on a night out after a drink, Nigel?
I'm sure...
And as 2 hours of debate on stage drew to a close, the debate backstage on, what else, Brexit, was only just getting started.
Labour's prevarication is simply creating more and more uncertainty. As Business Secretary, I go all around the United Kingdom. Businesses are saying they cannot deal with the uncertainty. We have to get Brexit done.
Andrea, you've had 3.5 years to get Brexit done, and you have not managed. Theresa May's deal was voted against 3 times by your own
the
MPs,
Labour Party,
by Boris Johnson himself twice as well. You are in government. You have been in government for 3.5 years. We're not in government.
On the studio floor, there were handshakes at least. For them, 2 hours of live debate done. For you, 11 days left to decide. Daniel Hewitt, ITV News.